Good afternoon. Welcome to Lunchtime News. My name is Wambiru. With the latest news updates, our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Remember, you can interact with us on our social media handle at KBC Channel 1. Now, to kick us off, Kenyans have been cautioned against misuse and overuse of over-the-counter antibiotics to help reverse the rising trend in the prevalence of antimicrobial resistance in the country. Stakeholders in the health sector say the fight against the resistance has long been overlooked, a situation that continues to endanger the lives of Kenyans. Led by infectious disease specialist at University of Nairobi, Dr. Lois Ombajo, the stakeholders are now calling on the government to urgently intervene in raising public awareness on measures to curb the menace. Now, according to Dr. Ombajo, antimicrobial resistance normally occurs when viruses, fungi, parasites and bacteria fail to respond to antimicrobial medicines. The stakeholders spoke during the launch of World AMR Awareness Week in Nairobi.
To pick antibiotics. If you're sick and you take antibiotics that have been left over, if you don't finish your doses of antibiotics, then you're placing yourself at risk of having bacteria that are resistant to antibiotics, which means the day you get sick and you really need an antibiotic, we can't find an antibiotic that will work for you. Stop picking antibiotics over the counter and just taking without having a proper diagnosis and knowing that we truly require the antibiotics.
We run the risk of having infections that are not treatable, having healthcare costs that are spiraling, and even increased rates of mortality across the population.
Use vaccination as a mode of preventing diseases, because it's these diseases that encourage people to use antibiotics. So in order for us to minimize the use of antibiotics, let's try and avoid the infections by promoting infection prevention control measures.
President William Ruto has cautioned cabinet secretaries and other government officials against laxity in the performance of their duties. The head of state, who said there is no room for failure, warned that those who fail to live up to expectation will attract corrective action. The president spoke at State House Nairobi during the signing of ministerial performance contracts for the financial year 2024-2025. He further called on Treasury to disburse funds on time to enable seamless operation of government agencies.
Binding contract with the people of Kenya to perform the tasks and duties entrusted to us and manage resources under our stewardship to a specific minimum standard. Excellence, integrity, efficiency, and consistency will be rewarded, while failure, negligence, waste, and misconduct will promptly invite corrective action. And I promise you, we will confound the naysayers. We will succeed. This country will not fail. This great nation that God has given us will succeed. The enemies of Kenya will be put to shame.
The Kenya-China Alumni Association has signed a memorandum of understanding with 8 major Chinese business associations in Kenya. The move is aimed at enhancing economic collaboration and fostering youth empowerment. The collaboration seeks to build a bridge between the Chinese business community and Kenya's rapidly growing talent pool, fostering opportunities for professional development, hands-on training and global business exposure.
The collaboration will focus on harnessing the skills of Kenya's youth, preparing them for the evolving job market through targeted capacity building programs, internships and direct employment opportunities with Chinese companies operating in Kenya.
Kenya-China Economic and Trade Association is set to sign MOU with Kenya-China Alumni Association, which will further strengthen cooperation and expand business cooperation.
The Kenya-China Alumni Association emphasized the transformative potential of the agreement.
We benefit in terms of income as a country. We benefit in terms of industries that come here as a country, so that because of the benefit of the convenience of goods. So those are among the major impacts.
In higher education, we are training people who are skilled and ready for market that is out here. And we as Confucius Institute at the University of Nairobi, and I believe I speak also for the others since we're in the education system, we are training manpower that is ready for the market.
The Minister Counselor at the Chinese Embassy in Kenya, Zhang Jingzhong, emphasized the critical importance of deepening the relationship between Kenya and China, particularly in the face of global challenges.
In the face of an evolving and turbulent world ahead, China and Africa need to strengthen solidarity and cooperation more than ever before. And I firmly believe that the Kenya-China alumni should and could play a unique and important role in this process, carrying forward the spirit of China-Africa friendship and cooperation.
And now we shall be crossing over to the Public Servants Union press conference here. They are issuing a statement. Among the issues being highlighted include SHA, and currently speaking is Tom Odege, who is the Secretary General Union of Kenya Civil Servants. Let's listen in.
Government, and we agreed to form a working committee to come up with the modalities on how public servants can continue to enjoy the medical services as was being given to them in the public service. So we want to be very clear here today that we are not ready to be covered by any private insurer. That's why when we met with the government, we made our demands be very clear, and we agreed we are pulling together the funds. We are not looking for any new fund from the government. These monies we used to enjoy are there, and we are just coming out strongly to protect them. There were some people who are trying to bring out the views that we are trying to extort the public by getting more money from the taxpayers' money. No. We have 6 billion fund, which we have been implementing to cover civil servants. This is the money we want to protect using our regulation. And after protecting this money, we also want to have a say where this money is going to be invested. And what we have said, this money must be invested in an insurer managed by the government, which is offering cover for the civil servants, and this one is none other than SHA. If the law does not provide, law was not made in vacuum. Law is made for man, and amendment can be done. So what we are demanding now, this money must be implemented in SHA, and the SHA Act must be amended to accommodate civil servants. We are civil servants, we must be covered with an insurer of a government, and that government, the money we have, must be implemented in that fund. This is government money, we must invest in the government fund, where we have a say, where we can also make amendments, where we can also make our views to be heard. We are not ready to go to a private insurer.
But what will happen if, for example, this to the private sector? What will happen?
If we are taken to private.
Well, that is the Secretary General Union of Kenya Civil Servants, Tom Odege, highlighting issues revolving around SHA. We shall be keeping you updated in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we move on. The Men with Disabilities Society of Kenya is calling on the government to tailor policies that are specific to their needs and enact the ones already tabled so that their issues may be addressed. The organization's chairperson, Benson Isaboke, lamented marginalization and discrimination in accessing jobs and other societal needs. They are further pushing for safe spaces where adolescents and elderly men with disabilities can openly speak about their challenges without fear of discrimination. They spoke as they marked the International Men's Day in Nairobi.
We are dying within ourselves. We don't have safe spaces that we can be able to one share. Our challenge is what we are facing as a society. If a man in a society is not stable, mentally stable, that family, it will not have that stability.
Inakuwa ni changamoto kupata zile ajira ama kupata ile ajira kuajiriwa kwa sababu kitu cha kwanza mtu anaangalia your disability, haangalii your capability, kitu ambacho unaweza kifanya. Anaangalia ulemavu wako, anaona ya kwamba wewe ni mtu ambaye uko na ulemavu, hauwezi fanya chochote.
We do not have opportunities because as persons with disability we also experience gender-based violence. We also have stress that is as a result of not only stigma and ostracization from the community and family members, but also from the society at large. So
upskilling of healthcare providers is key to reducing maternal mortality in Kenya and the continent as a whole. Royal Family Hospital medics are undergoing a week-long training to equip them with necessary skills. The training, led by Joseph Williamson from Global Healthcare Consultant in South Africa, is focusing on point care ultrasound, that is offering more insights and skills regarding to child health, maternal care and non-communicable diseases.
It's always been said that in Africa we have the highest maternal and fetal mortality sometimes in the world. And what POCUS aims to do is bring that fetal mortality down as it's been mandated by WHO. And the way we do that is by arming nurses, clinical officers, non-imaging physicians in how to use ultrasound to properly triage their patients. All over the world, POCUS is something that's happening. It's not a matter of we're going to be able to escape it. It's happening. So how do we in Africa join on that POCUS train, and how do we lead innovation instead of follow innovation?
We are focusing on child health. We are focusing on maternal health and non-communicable diseases. Now, when you think about our vision of communities living longer, healthier, better, we feel that it starts with healthy children.
And on to matters education, the government has deployed 46,000 teachers to support junior secondary schools. This is part of ongoing efforts to enhance the quality of education nationwide. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Mikos also announced a major initiative to upgrade school facilities, including the construction of new classrooms and laboratories to better align with the curriculum. This effort is designed to accommodate the growing number of junior secondary students and ensure schools have the necessary infrastructure to support modern teaching methods.
The 46,000 teachers have been confirmed on a permanent and pensionable basis. And then we are also going to add another 20,000 so that we have sufficient number of teachers in junior schools so that our students get the best education possible.
Archaeologists from the National Museums of Kenya have identified a shipwreckage believed to have sunk in the Indian Ocean approximately 500 years ago off Ngomeni's shores in Kilifi County. The archaeologists, led by the head of coastal archaeology at the National Museums of Kenya, Dr. Cesar Bitter, and partners who have been searching for the ship, say they have discovered ancient objects used by the sailors, including pottery, ivory, among other items that date back to around 1524. This discovery could pave the way for the establishment of the first marine museum in Kilifi County.
Zipo vipande tumepata kule chini, tutazipeleka kwenye lab zetu, tutazitafiti ndio tujue kwamba ile ndovu wa mwenye hiyo pembe kama ametoka hapa kwetu Kenya, ametoka Afrika Mashariki, ama ni ndovu ambayo patikana kule India.
One, I think it's much bigger than I think I or most people ever would have imagined. As Philippe says, it's roughly 20 meters by 40 meters. And although I'm not an expert on wrecks, it's a significantly large wreck when you see the size of the timbers.
Kulingana na ile kazi tumefanya, manake ilikuwa imefunikwa na mawe. Tumeifunua, tumeona hizo mbao, tumepata pia na vitu ambazo zilikuwa zinatumika wakati huo wa nafikiri Wareno wakiwa wanatumia hiyo meli.
And now in the political arena, a section of Orange Democratic Movement leaders from Migori County have expressed fears that lack of unity among ODM leaders may jeopardize the grassroots elections set to take place in 7 days. Nyatike constituency Member of Parliament Tom Boya Odege alleges there has been failure among the county's leaders to work cohesively to strengthen the party, a move that may affect party elections. This is Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanger downplay divisions within the party, urging members to focus on registering more members in the upcoming voter drive. She emphasized that the party's numerical strength would be crucial in the 2027 poll.
Leaders from Migori, we need to sit down as Migori leaders and we agree going forward how do we want to conduct our business. Because there is no way you can run a branch issues in Migori if we are not meeting. Yeah, that's I would say is a serious gap which is bringing problem in Migori.
Tarehe 27 tutakuwa na uchaguzi wa chama Kenya mzima katika polling stations peke yake. On 27th will only be polling station elections. National Elections Coordinating Committee will announce the date for elections for wards, for constituencies, and for the counties.
Political parties are the first step towards acquisition of national instruments of authority to serve the people. Zote tumeona jinsi tunaweza kujiunga na chama cha ODM ili sisi tuwe wanachama na tupate haki yetu kama wanachama na tuungana na Wakenya wengine ili nchi hii iendelee mbele.
Still on health matters, Kenya Association of Muslim Medical Professionals are calling for the strategic rollout of the Social Health Insurance Fund in the journey to achieving universal health coverage. The Muslim doctors and medical professionals who were in Mombasa for a workshop say the fund will ensure access to health services for all Kenyans if fully implemented as envisaged.
Muslim health professionals have thrown their weight behind the social health insurance scheme, which they say could transform the health sector if fully implemented. Speaking in Mombasa County, Kenya Association of Muslim Medical Professionals President Dr. Ahmed Tahir says although SHA is facing teething problems, he is confident it will benefit Kenyans.
I think SHA is an amazing idea that needs to be rolled out in a very strategic manner. It's got its good points. And I think in the beginning there'll be a lot of teething problems, but I think if we support it and it's got a good intention, I think things will work out well in the end.
The medical professionals also want the government to urgently address issues bedeviling SHA rollout, including prompt payment of dues to hospitals.
We need to see what are the challenges on the ground that people are facing, and how can we address them? Issues of dialysis, issues of payments. You know, we have some pending payments to faith-based organizations.
Elsewhere, private hospitals in Nandi County have embarked on sensitizing the public in churches on the importance of registering for SHA.
Sababu ya mafunzo ambayo tumefunzwa, tumejiandikisha kwa SHA na watu wengi pia wamekuja kujiandikisha. Hata wale hawakuwa na ufahamu wamepata kujua ya kwamba SHA ni muhimu. Ukiwa nayo unaweza kujitibu kwa njia rahisi na njia inayofaa.
We are here today to sensitize the community about the importance of the social health insurance. One, because it caters for health needs, it caters for health bills. So
Joseph Ohungu for Lunchtime News.
Pentecostal churches have called on the government to embrace criticism and use it positively. They charge through its clergy at the same time as the government to heed the voices of the majority and address the public concerns. Speaking at Bishop James Osunge's ordination in Samburu, the clergy led by Federation of Evangelical and Indigenous Christian Churches of Kenya General Secretary Bishop David Dagana in the meantime called for reconstituting the IEBC to restore public trust.
Today is that there would be an opportunity where the government can listen to the voice of the church and possibly come around the table and address these issues because we serve the same people.
Ya kwamba serikali yetu waweze kujali hata wananchi wake, maana kwa sasa hivi tuko na challenges hasa kwa ile card ya NHIF kurudishwa kuwa SHA. Imekuwa ni tatizo kubwa kwa wananchi wengi kwa sababu majina yao hayako mahali pale. Kwa hivyo ni
Herders in Kajiado County have expressed reservations over the government's nationwide livestock vaccination campaign, which aims to vaccinate 22 million cows and 50 million goats and sheep to improve animal health and boost market access. The herders, who raised fears of negative effects on their livestock, are demanding comprehensive reports on the vaccine safety. The government has, however, insisted the program is vital for securing international markets and enhancing livestock health.
Tunasikia kwamba serikali inataka kulete chanjo ya ng'ombe na hatujui chanjo ya ng'ombe inatoka wapi. Tunasikia haiko na uwazi, tunasikia kuna fununu mara ni mambo ya GMO. Tunataka kusema kama viongozi wa Kimasai kwamba jambo hili halina uwazi, na tunaambia serikali ya Ruto waangalie hiyo maneno kwa sababu kuna fununu na fitina mingi.
Lazima tuelimishwe kikamilifu ili tuelewe ni nini hiyo inatakikana kwa sababu ya hiyo kuchanjwa hizo ng'ombe. Sio chanjo tu inakuja na watu wasiangalie ni nini kwa sababu itaharibu hali ya ng'ombe, na ng'ombe zetu ziko sawa sawa na tunajua ile chanjo ya kuwachanja. Kwa hivyo hiyo kama imesemekana ya kwamba ichanjwe ng'ombe, tunataka kujua kikamilifu bila kuharakisha.
Kenya and the Sultanate of Oman government have expressed commitment to continue deepening and expanding cooperation in various sectors, including trade and investment, noting many bilateral agreements between the two nations are at various stages of implementation. Speaking during the 54th anniversary of the National Day of the Sultanate of Oman in Nairobi, CS for Mining and Blue Economy Hassan Johor and the Sultanate of Oman Ambassador to Kenya Nasra Salim said there has been notable achievement in various areas of cooperation between the two countries.
Members of diplomatic corps, members of public, political and religious leaders and top government officials led by Cabinet Secretary for Mining and Blue Economy Hassan Johor joined the Sultanate of Oman Ambassador to Kenya Nasra Salim Mohammed Al-Hashim during an occasion to mark the 54th anniversary of the National Day of the Sultanate of Oman in Nairobi, Kenya. The Oman ambassador to Kenya, Nasra Salim, said her country will redouble its efforts in cooperating with Kenya in various fields, which include political, economic, trade, cultural and investment, with many bilateral agreements at various stages of implementation.
Our historical ties have developed into enhanced relations and cooperation in various fields. We have also made a big stride on all other areas, including political, economic, trade and investment, with the many bilateral agreements at a various stage of achievement.
Import a lot of agricultural products from Kenya, and that has to be enhanced in a much bigger way. The volume so far, it's 1.2 billion. It is very, very small, but it can grow.
The diplomat noting various milestones have been achieved between the two nations so far.
Area of culture, heritage, between the two relevant authorities in the two countries. To mention but a few. The establishment of Oman Gallery at Nairobi National Museum, renovation carried out at the Fort Jesus and Lamu Museum, and support for local projects and events.
The Cabinet Secretary for Mining and Blue Economy Hassan Johor said Kenya is eager to work together with Oman to enhance market access for agricultural products.
As we gather to celebrate the milestone of the Sultanate of Oman, we also recognize the deep-rooted friendship and enduring ties between Kenya and Oman. Our friendship dates to the 17th century.
The Omani airline flight, which used to come to Mombasa, and then they stopped, and they're now going to Zanzibar. We're hoping that they will reopen that so that there'll be easy travel between our two countries.
The CS further reiterated Kenya's readiness for strategic and purposeful engagement in various sectors for the two nations' mutual interest.
This historical bond provides a strong foundation for enhanced cooperation in various sectors, especially in sustainable development. The strategic positions of our countries along the Indian Ocean open up unique opportunity for collaboration in fisheries.
And now onto the corridors of justice. A Kilifi court has begun hearing a case against two Italian nationals charged with obtaining over 32 million shillings by false pretense from two fellow Italians in the tourist resort town of Watamu in Kilifi County. The accused persons, identified as Daniel Lokoko and Massimo Nativi, appeared before Judge Mukut Nengere, where they denied the charges. The two complainants, Rita Napo and Cosmo Ameno, who are being represented by Ndegwa Wanjiru in the case, narrated to the court how they were defrauded through a forged lease agreement to lease a villa resort in Watamu. The hearing is set to continue on Wednesday.
And I wanted to buy a house.
In the year 2019, pagamenti gradino per gradino.
I had to pay slowly by slowly on the payment.
Quando abbiamo finito, è finita la casa, mi hanno chiamato per fare l'atto.
I was paying slowly by slowly. When the house got completed, they called me to come and sign the agreement.
So where had she seen this house before?
So I continued to press Mr. Olekina for the documentation. The house was not finished, and I didn't stay in the house.
This is the invoice of Olekina that he asked to be paid the transfer, the legal fee, and the stamp duty. But until 2022, from August 2018, him don't did the transfer, don't did nothing.
And our news making headlines in the business world. Absa Bank Kenya has reported a profit after tax of 14.7 billion shillings for the third quarter ending September 30th, 2024, marking a 20% growth from the previous year. The bank has attributed the strong performance to disciplined execution of strategic initiatives. The bank's total revenues rose by 16% to 46.8 billion shillings, driven by growth in both funded and non-funded income streams. Total loans and advances for the period grew to 311 billion shillings, with 94 billion shillings in new lending channeled towards critical economic sectors. However, customer deposits slightly decreased to 352 billion shillings. Kenya Ports Authority is projecting to handle 2.2 million 20-foot equivalent units by the end of 2024, which is a 20% growth compared to last year's performance. According to the Kenya Ports Authority Managing Director, Captain William Ruto, the port has already handled 1.75 TEUs, with the growth attributed to enhanced operational efficiency. Speaking after a meeting with the Mombasa Port and Northern Corridor Community Charter Secretariat, Captain Ruto also revealed that plans are underway to extend Container Terminal 1 berth number 19B by an additional 240 meters, a move which has, or rather he said, is expected to boost the port's capacity by 300,000 TEUs annually.
This year, 2024, as we speak right now, we have surpassed the targets for last year. We are currently at 1.75. And with only 1.5 months to go, I have every confidence that despite our target having been 1.9 million, we are really going to hit 2.2 million if all goes well. So that will be a growth of more than 20%. We are also extending the Container Terminal 1, that is berth number 19B. Very soon we will be signing the contract with the contractor to add an additional 240 meters quay length, an additional capacity in terms of TEU capacity of 300,000 TEUs. On top of that, again, to add on it is that we are also going to Dongokundu to start doing the DK1. We've already signed the contract with the contractor, and the contractor currently is now mobilizing. And we expect in another 2 years, number 19B with an additional capacity of 300 TEUs will be ready.
We have seen an increment of transit cargo through the port. Between 2022 and 2024, we have an increase of about 17%. We see improvement in the transit to Burundi by about 14%. Recently, we had Ethiopia, which initially was doing about 8,000 tons to 847 tons through the port of Lamu. So as an industry, we are happy with what we are seeing.
Investors in the global aviation space are targeting Kenya's niche business aviation sector by offering private aviation services as a result of growing demand. VistaJet Europe and Africa President Philippe Scalabrini says the aviation company has begun exclusive private aviation services in key cities including Nairobi, Johannesburg and Cape Town.
The aviation sector contributes about 5% to the nation's gross domestic product, supporting 410,000 jobs. However, increasingly, a specific niche in the sector is defining itself in this contribution, with clients demanding efficient, secure and luxurious travel.
Why Kenya? It's clearly a major hub, financial hub, and for the region, for East Africa. So for us, we see demand both for local entrepreneurs and corporations, but also our current clients coming from the US, from Asia, from the Middle East, from Europe.
Companies like VistaJet are now targeting corporations, entrepreneurs and governments, with investors underscoring the lack of supporting infrastructure in many jurisdictions, hindering faster growth in the aviation sector in the continent.
And the challenges locally, I mean, it's not specific to Nairobi or Kenya, but I think it's having access to airports. It's making sure that we can get the flight permits done in an efficient manner.
VistaJet's East and Southern Africa operations aims to leverage dedicated aircrafts, offering clients travel experiences from Nairobi to Johannesburg and from Cape Town to London by guaranteeing direct flights for businesses and individuals who need to be in multiple cities in the shortest time possible. Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
The Kenya Revenue Authority, in partnership with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, took the ongoing Jinais na Receipt Legit campaign to Nakuru County, where members of the public were sensitized on tax services such as ATM's receipts. The caravan will, for the next 2 days, traverse Naivasha, Gilgil, Nyahururu, Ol Kalou, Subuki, Bahati and Langalanga. We're now joined by Warimo Jenga from Naivasha town. Over to you, Carol.
Well, thank you, Jackie Wambiru. We are coming live to you from Gilgil in Nakuru County. This is the KRA, that is Kenya Revenue Authority, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation public campaign on G-Nice na Receipt Legit campaign. It's an ongoing campaign that has been happening since last week. We have already been done with Nairobi region. Now we are going to Nakuru region. Remember, this campaign is all about sensitizing Kenyans on the ATM's receipt and also rewarding Kenyans out there. Of course, you know KRA, many Kenyans are usually skeptical about KRA, but then again, here they are rewarding Kenyans out there, talking about how you can download the Receipt Legit app, scan, and also be able to win cash and non-cash prizes. This is a campaign that will go on for 1 month. Remember, I've said we are in Nakuru, we'll be going to Bungoma, we'll be going to Kakamega, but we have an expert right here with an officer who is majors in this conversation to talk to us about this campaign and what it's all about, because many Kenyans out there are wondering, why are we going around the country? Why is KRA and KBC why is this partnership all about? And she joins me. She's called Velma Karemi. She's an officer with ETIM's platform at Kenya Revenue Authority. Vicky, if you can join me right here. You're live on KBC. We want to hear about this public campaign. I know this is not the first time we are doing it. We've been doing it. We are done with the Nairobi region. What is it all about?
So the partnership between KBC and KRA is publicity on the G-Nice na Receipt campaign, which is a campaign to reward taxpayers. It is an initiative to reward taxpayers. We are not after your taxes. It is just a Christmas reward that we are awarding taxpayers for every purchase they make on supermarkets. They just need to ask for the ETR or ETIM's receipts. Yeah.
When you talk about ETR, I'd like you to describe for us, for the Kenyans who might not understand what ETR is.
So when I say ETR or ETIM's receipt, it means that it's a receipt that has a QR code. A receipt that reads, for ETIMS, it reads ETIMS. So all the receipts that you're given in a supermarket, in a hotel, just ensure that they have a QR code. Once you scan, you enter the draw. We do weekly draws every Monday, and our winners are announced on our KRA website. Yeah.
I know this is not just about rewarding. I know you're looking also at tax compliance, you're looking at revenue collection. With this ETIMS platform, for the time that we have been in Nairobi region, how has been the uptake?
So the uptake has been good so far. Where there's a bit of work to be done is with the non-VAT taxpayers. By non-VAT, I mean the taxpayers who do not have the VAT obligation. Taxpayers on the turnover tax, income tax, partnership and company, monthly rental income. We are still driving the uptake. It's a bit low on non-VAT, but with VAT taxpayers the compliance is doing good. So basically, we don't want our taxpayers to lose business because of doing business with people who who are not compliant. So it is also a drive for compliance for our taxpayers. Yeah.
You've talked of cash and non-cash prices. I know Kenyans when they hear that, they want to jump onto this campaign. I know we are in Nakuru. Yeah. We are going to Bungoma. Where else should we expect KRA? And also talk about this and how do a person win, or how do I participate if I want to be part of this campaign?
All right. For you to participate on this campaign, just go to App Store or Play Store, download the Receipt Legit app. Then you start scanning. Once you scan, you've automatically joined the draw. And look for a chance to win cash prizes, non-cash prizes. We have TVs, mobile phones. We're going to have 3 winners winning 1 million Kenya shillings each. So we will be currently in Nakuru, we'll be in Olkalau, we'll be in, we will be.
I know. I get it. There's so many places that we are going to go. And of course, we'll be updating Kenyans on where you will be. But talk about ETIMS. What does ETIMS stand for? Someone might wonder. Yes.
So ETIMS stands for Electronic Tax Invoice Management System. It is an invoicing system it is a software, an invoicing system that is software based. The difference that it has with the ETR is that the ETRs are device based, ETIMS is software based. So basically ETIMS is an invoicing system, and we're encouraging taxpayers to be compliant and to onboard ETIMS and to participate on the G-Nice na Receipt campaign.
Thank you so much, Vicky. Well, that is an officer at the KRA talking about the E-Teams platform, and also talking about boosting compliance and also increasing revenue collection. That is the main goal of this campaign. But above all is for you to win cash and non-cash prizes with this nice receipt legit campaign. We are in Nakuru. We'll be going to Bungoma, and I'll be joining you. I'll be bringing you live wherever we will be. So stay with us. Back to you in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Jenga, there joining us from Naivasha, shedding light on desensitizing of Kenyans on KRA tax services. Well, we shall be keeping you updated in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we take a short break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He said, my brother was using the toothbrush. If I'd waited for him, I would have been late for school. I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional when it comes to that. To be able to change a child's life, to be able to bring back that confidence about their smile, for me, is phenomenal.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sport,
is a class
music, entertainment news, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hand. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital App in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital App.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. A section of livestock farmers are now manufacturing animal feeds using black soldier fly as a key protein ingredient to lower feed costs. The project, initiated by the Consultative Group for International Agricultural Research Project, has seen farmers start manufacturing their own feed to mitigate against high global feed raw material prices.
Kenya imports 60% of the 55 million metric tons of animal feeds used in the country annually. To lower the feeds import bill and cost of production in the livestock subsector, farmers have been encouraged to formulate their own feeds. A section of farmers in Kisumu have started using black soldier fly to manufacture animal feeds as a substitute for the expensive soya.
We are getting that the larvae itself, if we sell, we'll get money. From the larvae itself, we shall get frass. Frass can also be plowed back into the soil as a nutrient.
The insect larvae are rich in proteins, an ideal source for livestock, including poultry, fish, and pigs.
At first, I was afraid of the black flies. The black soldier flies were scaring me. In fact, I was afraid of the larvae. I couldn't even touch them. But nowadays, I have found it is beneficial.
The CGIAR, under its initiative on nature-positive solutions, is training farmers on the processing of the fly and composition of locally manufactured feeds.
I've liked the whole, the whole idea about BSF, because it is not just going to take care of an area. It is an activity that is all round.
The fly's larvae also thrive on organic waste, converting the waste into organic manure. The initiative aims to support sustainable agriculture production by reducing cost through eco-friendly farm practices.
Now let's take a look at sports news. The national men's soccer team Harambee Stars will wrap up their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign today in the afternoon against the Brave Warriors of Namibia. The match will be broadcast live on KBC Channel 1 and 7 affiliate radio stations from 4 p.m. Harambee Stars have already been eliminated from the continental showcase after they were held to a 1-all draw by Zimbabwe on Friday. However, they hope to complete a double over the Brave Warriors of Namibia, whom they beat 2-1 in the first leg before they were held to a barren draw by Zimbabwe. Cameroon put a big dent to their campaign when they beat them 4-1 and 1-0 respectively in a two-legged affair that saw the indomitable Lions book their ticket with 11 points in Group J, followed by Zimbabwe, who took the runners-up spot with 9 points after breaking the Kenyan Hearts. Harambee Stars will still finish third in the group, where they have 5 points regardless of today's result against Namibia, who tailed the group with a point after they held Cameroon to a barren draw in their fifth qualifying match. The Falcons of Jeddah and of Sudan have qualified for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations after earning the all-important point in their barren draw with the Palanque Negres of Angola, who had already booked their ticket to the African showpiece before the last round of matches. Sudan took the runners-up spot in Group F as Niger fell short despite their 2-1 win over the winless and bottom-placed Black Stars of Ghana in Accra. Benin also booked their ticket after a barren draw away to Libya to join Group D leaders Nigeria in the finals. Rwanda were edged out by the Cheetahs of Benin despite a fight back that saw them beat the Super Leagues 2-1 to finish third in the group. The remaining three spots of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations will be decided today when Tanzania face Guinea at home in Group H, as Mauritania and Botswana battle for the runners-up spot in Group C against Cape Verde and already qualified Egypt respectively. Guinea-Bissau hope to achieve their target against Mozambique in Group I.
The breakthrough for Nigeria. The substitute, Samuel Chukwueze. Burst through the Rwanda ranks.
Croatia have qualified for the quarterfinals of the UEFA Nations League after their 1-all draw with Portugal in Group 1. Portugal had already advanced to their last eight. Scotland finished third in the group after 2-1 defeat of Poland to proceed to the relegation promotion playoff. European champion Spain beat Switzerland 3-2 in Group 4 as Denmark joined them in the quarterfinals.
Looking for.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you so much for choosing KBC Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Lensao Dingo. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yet another beautiful day for you to get your weekly dose of entertainment from us. How are you doing?
Well, go on. Welcome to the biggest, the baddest, extraordinary show right here in the 254. You know us. You know what we do. This is how we do it. This is how we get down.
Yes, this is always how we do it. And when you see us, you know that it is time for you to get to know what has been happening in the entertainment scene, specifically when we talk about events. And we got to cover several events. This is where you get to know what is going down.
That's what's up, Miss V. Mwaka wa kufosi, it's almost coming to an end.
By the way.
I don't know what you've achieved, what you've done.
Yeah.
But again, tukona more than...
It's just a month.
Just a month, right?
It's just a month.
But remember,
remaining.
Each and every day you can change something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we still have time.
Yeah.
Please work on those dreams, work on those goals. Usione tu ni kama mwaka imepita, si ndio? This one, actually 1 month. Hii 1 month inaweza kuwa impactful sana. So work on it.
Exactly, absolutely. And just as Mula said, I mean, every day is a new chance for you to just get closer to your dreams. So do not lose hope. If you had sung that song, Umakai, lazima chakuita bossi. Bado kuna time ya kuitwa boss. Usi give up.
That's what's up. Now you know.
Yes, my name is Vivian Dago. You can simply just call me Miss V.
Jack Mula thepartydaddy.co.ke, aka your girlfriend got my website.
And you know what this right here is?
Grapevine.
What you gotta
Fashion is a vital part of the culture in Kenya, and the country is home to a thriving fashion industry.